General Keane, you say you've seen the plans, you know what the goal is. I always thought, people are talking about regime change ideally for Iranians, that would be great. But it strikes me that Israel and the US don't need to have that to achieve what they really want. Israel, more security from attack than they've had since the country was created. The US boosting its power over the whole Middle East, plus the decapitating of Russian and Chinese ally and possibly diverting oil from China. All this is great, but when you've seen these plans, you know what's happened in the first day and a half. What is going to happen? What is the next goal on the ground?
Yeah, well, you're absolutely right. I mean, our major objective here is to take this threat off the table, as it has existed since 1980. And, for our audience, because we have people in our country, not a lot certainly, but the political opposition, and we have problems with some of our European friends. They say, well, what's the basis for this? I mean, the Americans, do you have a legal basis for actually attacking Iran? Just so the audience understands, they began killing us, Americans, in 1983. They killed 241 Marines in a barracks that they blew up. First vehicle suicide bomber ever used in an effort like that. They blew up the US-Lebanon embassy, the US-Kuwait embassy. They blew up, in the 90s, they blew up our barracks in Saudi Arabia. And we're talking about hundreds of people right now being killed. And then in Iraq, using advanced IEDs that their scientists and engineers created so it would penetrate all of our tanks and fighting vehicles and all of our armored vehicles. The official number is 600 dead. The last commander that was there, four-star General Lloyd Austin, who became Secretary of Defense, used to work for me. He said, Jack, the number is really closer to 2,000. We have every right to do what we're doing. Prior to October the 7th, the Iranian-backed militias attacked U.S. bases in the region, in Iraq and Syria, 175 times. After October the 7th, they did it 125 times. In all of these incidents that I've just mentioned about killing Americans, that involved 3 presidents, 2 of them Republicans, 1 of them Democrats. Not a single one of them ever retaliated. If we get a positive government out of this in terms of regime change, right, that's icing on the cake. But this is a national security threat to the United States and to the region that's been destabilized for almost 50 years. We are taking it off the table. That is the #1 objective.
Well, General Keane, I'd go further than that. Iran, the way it's been lashing out at many of its Muslim neighbours with drones and rockets, you've got several dead already. Can you imagine what a regime like that would have done had it got a nuclear bomb, the way it's flinging weapons around willy-nilly? Now, it's interesting here, General. Iran's foreign minister is blaming rogue military or Revolutionary Guard Corps units for doing this, like is distancing what remains of the regime in Tehran from this lashing out. Suggests to me that already there's some manoeuvring, already there's some splits up the top about what to do next. What does all that tell you?
Well, let me mention about the Gulf states. The good news is here, attacking the Gulf states has backfired on the Iranians. They have come together, and certainly I've always been frustrated with them because privately they support everything we're doing and what the Israelis have been doing. Everything from October the 7th, privately. Publicly, not quite the same. And I wish they would stop that kind of nonsense and stand up for their principles and support the security that needs to be in the region. Here's the good news, though. 4 of those nations are going to respond offensively against Iran. 1 already is. I can't reveal those names because they don't want them revealed. But 1 has already attacked, and 3 others are going to participate in that. So this is backfiring on the Iranians. And they have limited amount of missiles. And these countries that are being attacked, the Gulf states, they have very good defensive systems. Most of them are ours, that they've been purchasing for years. So they're in pretty good shape in defensive capability, and now 4 of them are going to contribute to the offense, and that is all very good. This IRGC, we're going to strip that unit away. It is not going to exist in any shape or form where it continues to be a threat in the region and also to their own people. We're stripping away the Basel militia and all the repression forces that are used against the people. That is why this campaign, from the outset, has been a minimum of 2 to 3 weeks. The president today said it may take as long as 4. And I know where he is because I spoke to him this morning, and he's in this for as long as it takes. This operation is conditions-based, so our audience understands that. We have objectives that we want to achieve against the Iranian regime and against all of its capabilities. Those are defined military objectives. We are setting the conditions to achieve them. If it takes longer than what we expect, then we're going to do that until we achieve them. If we can do it in less time, because the regime starts to collapse and people are starting to surrender and capitulate, we will certainly accept that reality. But as of now, we're looking at something in the neighborhood of every single day pounding these people for 2 to 3 weeks. That is the plan that's on the books.
General Keane, thank you for that brilliant insight into what's really going on. I really appreciate that. Fingers crossed that it works out as well as it has for the first couple of days. Let's hope that it continues that way. Thank you so much for your time.